Hi everyone, I'm Chan Siang and I'll be your host for today's Discovery episode, so follow me. Welcome to Pulau Ubin. Pulau Ubin is an island northeast of Singapore. It's a delightful rustic retreat teeming with rich biodiversity. This island is home to Singapore's last kampung village and forested with wetlands and teeming with wildlife. But did you know that there was a gun emplacement battery in Pulau Ubin, built between 1936 and 1939, just before the Second World War? At Kampung Baru, along the central northern shoreline of Pulau Ubin, a battery was constructed designed for two twin 6-pounder guns during the Second World War. These guns are known as AMTB equipment, which stands for Anti-Motor Torpedo Boat. It is emplaced near the entrance of harbours with either one or two guns. These guns were part of a complex series of fortifications and coastal artillery batteries defending the great naval base in Sembawang. At one point, there were up to 5 such AMTB guarding the entrance of the Johor Strait. Since the end of the Second World War, many of these gun batteries were demolished, and today the AMTB battery on Ubin is one of the few remaining and better preserved ones in Singapore. So here we are on the Ubin AMTB, that's our anti-motor torpedo boat gun battery, and I'm standing in the emplacement itself. This is where they will have placed the guns, the automatic cannons, which is defending, just ahead of me, the Johor Straits. So this was built sometime in 1936-37 in preparation for the big war that's coming potentially with Japan, and it did happen in 1941. Although it is unclear if the guns were installed in time for the Japanese invasion, it is evident that this battery was used to some extent. Electrical fittings and other debris observed in one of the searchlights emplacement seems to suggest that of occupation. Part of our study is to figure out if the Ubin AMTB saw any action during the war, or if these guns were even in place in the first place. There were two gun emplacements in Pulau Ubin. Both emplacements were built 8 meters apart in a staggered formation on a terrace slope. Behind each emplacement stood a 2- or 3-story fire direction tower. This structure housed equipment and men to command the guns, engine room and searchlights. The battery consisted of ancillary buildings such as barracks, toilets, cookhouse, engine room, oil store, water pumping station, ammunition stores and searchlight posts. They were all built in a compact location on the knoll. So obviously for the AMTB, the soldiers or the gunners need somewhere to live. So this is one of the few surviving barrack blocks that's still in use today. A few others that we have found are in ruins. We found the foundations and they're all buried deep in the jungle. So we have one which is still used as accommodations for the National Police Cadet Corps. This AMTB was built and positioned to defend the Straits of Johor from enemy ships. It is part of an entire fortification system along the Singapore's northeastern coast, from Changi to Pulau Tekong. The AMTB was the smallest caliber coastal artillery weapon available, and its role was to prevent fast speedboats from infiltrating into the straits. Other batteries in the system comprise of 6-inch, 9.2-inch, and then massive 15-inch long-range guns, capable of sinking battleships kilometers away. So here we are at the generator room. So this is a big engine room here to provide electricity to power the gun batteries. So obviously gun batteries, you need to rotate the guns, right? So electricity from here will go to power those guns, as well as the searchlights. So in the dark, the gunners can't see anything. There are 3 searchlights in place by the beach, and you need power to power them as well. These fixed beams were powerful enough to light up a section of the waterway. These allowed the guns to engage intruders at night. So as part of the generator room complex, they have the ancillary structure here, and right to my left would have been the old diesel tanks. So they have a huge diesel tank here as fuel for the generators. The smaller rooms at the side probably for little workshops, the mechanics and things to put their tools in here. So we have seen the entire AMTB complex, which consists of course the guns, the barracks where the soldiers live, and obviously they needed other facilities like toilets. So here we have a series of toilets up here, and the old structure, which probably is made of timber and thatch or atap, have since decomposed and deteriorated away. A lot of people tend to think that Singapore is really developed and futuristic. Hence, little of the past remains in this uber-modern city. Yet, the past is still all around us, often just buried and forgotten. Imagine, back in the 1930s when the AMTB was built, the British were thinking about the future, and Ubin housed some of the most modern defense infrastructure in the world. Singapore's identity is drawn from both its ability to engage with the future as well as learning from and respecting the past. It's important for us to study and understand our shared common history, for it enables us to think about how we got here and determine where do we want to head in the future. I hope you have fun joining us today on a whirlwind tour of the Pulau Ubin AMTV gun battery. Thanks for joining us, and I hope to see you again.